program, we would like to engage with all of you in an open and healthy dialogue about the behavioral finance and how to close the existing gap in the present body of knowledge. The program intends to provide opportunities to researchers who are looking forward to learning and understanding behavioral finance from the top academicians and scientists. The program has already shaped up to be excellent, and the networking opportunities will be indeed outstanding. I hope this program will provide lasting memories. So now, moving forward, it is my privilege to present to all of you the resource person and the guest speakers that are joining in today's program. For the welcome address, we are fortunate to have with us Dr. Shailendra Kumar Sir. Dr. Shailendra Kumar Sir is Associate Professor, and right now he is a Head of Department of Management Study. He has teaching experience of more than 12 years. Sir has published many research papers in the reputed journal. So now, without further missing a beat, I request Dr. Shailendra Sir to deliver the welcome address. Welcome,
thank you, Kajol.
Over to you.
Thank you. So, on behalf of Department of Management Studies, at the outset of this program, I would like to welcome all the participants to the program from India and abroad, because without you people, this program was not possible. So, I would like to start welcoming all the participants to the program. Next, I would like to, it is my proud and privilege, moment of proud and privilege for me to welcome our ex-director, Professor P. Nagabhushan sir, who is here with us for providing the blessings to this program, for making this program a success. Sir, we are moving as per the directions given by you, the guidance given by you. We are continuing with the same motivation which you provided to us. I would like to welcome Professor Shekhar Verma sir, who is Dean here. He is with us for providing the special inputs to this function, to this program, and showing us the way that how this program can be fruitful to the participants. I would like to welcome and congratulate the organizer to this program, Professor Ranjit Singh sir, and his team, Dr. Sashikant Rai, Dr. Saurabh Mishra, that they had actually continuing this legacy and making this program more and more informative, and anyhow they are actually working in a right direction to strengthen the department. And I'm happy to learn that this Department of Management Studies is coming up as a resource center, is becoming a source of knowledge for behavioral finance, is developing, diversifying, and at the same time also developing itself in a core function of finance, behavioral finance. So, sir, your efforts are remarkable, and department is gaining a lot of momentum out of it, and we are able to attract all these efforts can be visualized in the number of admissions. They are going up like anything. PhD admissions, they are going up. So department is just benefiting out of the efforts made by the team. So I congratulate them, and yes, the department is coming up as a source of behavioral finance. The knowledge of source of knowledge for behavioral finance is developing as a center where the discussions on behavioral finance are very frequent, and we have the wonderful team to work with. So I congratulate the team for their efforts. With these words, I would like to say a few words about the behavioral finance. Like we all know, and a lot of discussions will be happening during this summer school about the behavioral finance. Behavioral finance came up with it's a subfield of behavioral economics, which came around the 1970s to provide lot of explanation to the investor behavior, because traditionally the finance is understood like the investors, they behave rationally, they are free of emotions, they are just trying to maximize their utility, they are just trying to maximize this profit. But we understand that sometimes the models which are developed in traditional finance theory, they are not giving the efficacious results or expected results. So what is the reason? These were the reasons which were thought of in the 1970s. in the year of 70s. Why the models which are developed in the traditional finance, they are not giving the expected results? So it means something is not happening as per the assumptions of the expected traditional finance theory, or the assumptions of traditional finance theory. So this behavioral finance came into being as a subfield of behavioral economics, which actually gives the explanation that why the models developed in with the help of traditional finance theory are not giving the expected results. The reasoning which is given by the behavioral finance is that the investors, they are basically not behaving rationally. Rather, their opinions, their decisions, they are guided by a lot of irrational factors. The peer information, the herd behavior, the loss aversion theory, all those theories which are developed out of behavioral finance, they give expectation that what traditionally believed, that the investors, or the investors, they basically invest having the rationality in the as an assumption. So all those assumptions were questioned, and the answer was given with the help of behavioral finance. So after behavioral finance, we are able to understand the psychology behind the psychology happening, the psychology affecting the decisions taken by the investors. So basically, the behavioral finance is giving the explanation of the psychology going on in the mind of investors while they are taking the decision to make investment. Okay, so this behavioral finance actually gives a lot of explanation. It gives explanation that why, like if we just see the latest LIC IPO, everybody thought of that the share would do good, but if you just see the share price of the LIC, it is just going down, and it is following what was followed by the Paytm. So the share, the LIC share, it is not doing good. It means the share is performing against its fundamentals. So basically, the psychology plays an important role in what was perceived at the time when the IPO of LIC was launched. Actually, those factors are not working. The psychology is different because investors are looking around the environmental forces which cannot be controlled, and those environmental forces, the peer pressure, it is affecting their decision to make investment. So all these explanations are given by the behavioral finance, because once we understand the behavioral finance, then only completely the investor can be, the investor behavior could be understood. Because if we just took the help of traditional finance theory, then the complete understanding of the investor behavior is not possible. So we have to take the help of behavioral finance. Of late, behavioral finance has given lot of explanation of the investor behavior, why are they behaving in a particular manner, and it is not confined to the stock market. It has actually percolated to many other sectors like the real estate, like you take any, you just talk about any sector, wherever you talk about, the behavioral finance plays an important role. So behavioral finance basically gives the psychological explanation of the investor behavior with the help of the theories under study. So lot can be said about behavioral finance, but I understand this platform, this summer school will be a platform to discuss many such things. And I am also sure that this platform, this summer school, will actually shape up a lot of research proposals, will give the will actually open the way for further research in the same field. With all these words, I trust that this program, this summer school, would be efficacious, would be as per the expectations of the participants, and they would really enjoy it. So with all these words, I would like to send my congratulations to the summer school team, and I trust that this program would be a successful one. Thank you, Ranjit sir, and thank you, team. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Next, I would like to invite Professor Ranjit Singh, sir, to give idea about the overall program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kajol. Respected our Professor Nagabhushan, sir, ex-director, Triple IT Allahabad Prayagraj, Professor Shekhar Verma sir, Dr. Shailendra Kumar, our Head Department of Management Studies, Triple IT, Dr. Saurabh Misra, Dr. Sasikant Rai, and all the participants and the teachers from Triple IT Allahabad, research scholars from Triple IT Allahabad. It is my proud privilege to welcome you all at the 5th Summer School on Behavioral Finance. There are a few things that needs special consideration and special mention. First and foremost, special thanks and gratitude to Professor P. Nagabhushan for accepting our invite and be here. Sir, it was your inspiration and your guidance that you have guided us in 2018. We have started our summer school on behavioral finance. At that time, we do not had much idea about. We had idea about the subject, but regarding conducting workshop, organizing workshop or summer school, we do not had. And it was ultimately your inspiration and encouragement and guidance that has helped us in shaping this overall summer school. And every day we are just growing, we can say by leaps and bounds. Rightly stated by our HOD, Dr. Shailendra Kumar, that behavioral finance is not only limited to stock market. This is a question many scholars and many teachers used to ask me that, sir, is finance is only about a stock market, or is behavioral finance is only about the stock market? And the simple answer is no, it's not about the stock market. But the next question is then why most of the research papers are on stock market? And here also the simple and obvious answer is the availability of data. We could do the efficient market hypothesis, we could prove the efficient market hypothesis of the land also, or the real estate also. But the availability of the data per minute and per second and nanosecond price information of all those assets are not available. And we need data. And the data is very easily available with respect to the companies, annual report of the companies, and the stock market. And that's why we could find most of the researches are on this stock market. Initially, when we have proposed this summer school in the month of January, at that time, we thought that it will be in the hybrid mode. Some of the scholars will be coming here, some of the participants will be coming to our campus, and some might be joining from the online mode. But later on, this third COVID wave came, and we were skeptical that we do not know what will be happening in June. Maybe fourth wave if comes, then the things will be disturbed. And we have decided to have one more session, one more edition of this summer school in online mode only, and let the things to go all right, so that by next year we can expect to have the full-fledged offline session here at Triple IT Allahabad, and we will have the opportunity to welcome you physically in our campus. This year, summer school, we have introduced some of the advanced level courses, like some data analytics, some social media analytics, some advanced data analytics, survival analysis, panel data analysis, this kind of courses. So those who are attending the summer schools on a regular basis, for them it is not a problem. But those who are attending it for the first time, they may have some problem. And for your information and for your convenience, we have made available all the lectures of the previous summer schools to you, the recordings of all the lectures in our YouTube channel, which has been shared in the morning itself by Kajol. So kindly go through all the lectures, those basic courses on behavioral finance that will help you in understanding some of the advanced level courses. So the basic courses has already been made available to you through our YouTube link. So that even if some advanced level courses are discussed here, that won't create any problem for you. This year we have introduced one international conference also on behavioral finance. So for the first 5 days we will be having summer school, and the next 2 days we have a very intense discussion on behavioral finance and the various aspects and various researches on behavioral finance. And we have got more than 125 research papers in the area of behavioral finance from all over the globe. So most of you are also participant in that conference also. So that we'll discuss later on. The study materials had already been posted to you at the address given by you. Some of you might not have received it because you have registered late. So we have dispatched the study materials just in the last week. So maybe within a few days you will be getting the study materials. All other materials, papers, and PPTs will be made available to you as the program will advance. So this is all about the structure of the behavioral finance summer school on behavioral finance. And thank you once again for giving us an opportunity to host you through online mode. And hopefully next year we'll be meeting in an offline mode, and then we will be able to host you here at IIIT Allahabad campus. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now, next, I would like to invite Professor Shekhar Verma, sir, here, Dean Spatial Development Cell.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, sir. So, ex-director of the institute, Professor P. Nagabhushan, Professor Ranjit Singh, the person behind and in front of the organizing this particular workshop, Dr. Shashikant Rai, Dr. Saurabh Mishra, the head of the department, Dr. Shailendra Kumar, and my dear participants. I think this has been a wonderful journey of 4 years, more than 4 years now, from planning to execution to workshop to holding an international conference. So why this is very, very important in IIIT Allahabad, and what is the takeaway for persons who are not from finance? So the whole thing is that the entire engineering is anti-behavioral, in the sense that it's agnostic to behavior. What it never takes the human beings as somebody above matter, but we know that there is mind above matter, and there is a prevalent, deep-seated subconscious bias and heuristics which are present in the decision-making process. And this is very important. This cognitive bias, which are individual-centric cognitive biases, which are very important. And as we study finance with a focus on these individual cognitive level biases, then we have what is called behavioral finance. But then, why it is important, and what does it encompass? So it encompasses, as Professor Ranjit Singh said, not just stock market, but spending, investing, trading, financial planning, portfolio management, business commerce, to so many other things. So it encompasses a gamut of human activities. And but the question is, why is it important? It is important because these biases actually deeply influence the way in which human beings process information, as against the machine which processes information or data. This human beings, they have a certain cognitive bias, and they process decisions with that cognitive bias to reach decisions and preferences. And even if there are a lot of things at stake, we know that the human beings are not risk aversive. They have a loss aversion. But in spite of this considerable funds at stake, the financial decision making is actually influenced by our cognitive biases. And this is what is centric to the entire behavioral sciences. So, and the second thing which we all have recognized even in engineering is that human beings are poor at combinatorial decision making. That means if there are more than eight independent variables, then the human being is not able to visualize and process more than 7 to 8 independent variables. And what happens then, intuition and cognitive biases come into play so as to allow human beings to take a decision. And when we have in finance, there are so many independent variables. So if you're doing something which is mathematically, somebody who's an expert will know what are the variables which are more important. However, a normal individual will not be in a position to fathom and will be guided by a limited number of cognitive strategies or heuristics to simplify the entire gamut of complex events while making decisions. So there are biases, and this is something which is the mind over matter. But the one thing which is given is that we have a lot of independent variables which are involved in decision making, and to make and human being relies on that they rely on their cognitive biases to take decisions. But what are these cognitive biases? There are three primary cognitive biases, and the others will be dwelt upon in this particular workshop in a very wonderful manner. But what I feel is that we as human beings, as an individual, tend to extrapolate or over-extrapolate the past. So we place a lot of very importance to recent past. Not something which has happened in the distant past, but a lot of importance is given to recent past. And we also form beliefs about the future. We think that we are at the center of everything, and this, while decision making, putting a lot of weightage on the recent past and forming beliefs of the near future, is a bias that we are suffering from. And what happens is we are also overconfident over our ability. We are very confident, and we say that our abilities actually outshine others. So we are forming beliefs about the future, which we say that they are very accurate. On top of it, we are overconfident in our abilities to visualize and make decisions. And this actually clouds our judgment. And then, together with the third cognitive bias, which is again very important, is that we are more sensitive to loss than gain. So there is more the sensitivity of the bias of sensitivity towards loss over gain, and to give more weightage or more weightage to more weight or weightage to low probability outcomes is what is the cognitive bias, which actually makes us overconfident, and it actually makes our judgment biased in most of the cases. So while we are studying it in psychology, while we are studying management, while we are studying behavioral finance, what we are finding now is that what corporates are doing, they are able to map all these cognitive biases of human beings, and they are able to study us through our data, which is available on Google, which is available through our patterns in buying, through our patterns in seeing a movie, through our patterns on Netflix, through our patterns in Amazon Prime Video, through on Hotstar, to so many OTTs. So what has happened is through our interactions on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, mail usage, so human being is getting mapped by machine learning algorithms. And machine learning, what it has been able to do is, it does what human being also does better than human beings. That is, we try to seek patterns, but human beings do not have that amount of data. But machines can process a lot of data, and what people are able to do, what corporates are able to do, what industry is able to do, is give you recommendations, is make you see what they want you to see. This is what is known as an echo chamber effect in machine learning or computer science, in which you are surrounded with recommendations, you are surrounded with data, we are surrounded by environment in WhatsApp, in Facebook, in Twitter, in OTT platforms, by what you want to see, but you start lacking diversity. So people they study you, breach your privacy, see you, and then recommend things to you as per your current needs, as per your cognitive bias. So we have been mapped because of this large amount of data which is available with the corporate world. However, what machine learning in finance has done, it has actually made us from a private organism with our private cognitive biases to somebody who is there in the public domain, public to the companies who are trying to exploit us as a consumer. So, and they try to derive benefit from our behavioral biases, which we know that they exist. So what should be done? So while we are able to understand the human being, we understand that there is a bias, we understand that we have a loss aversion, we don't have risk aversion, we have biases. So what? We have been able to bias, we have been able to make the human being an open diary before the corporate world. But then the problem is that we should give it back to them. So we have machine learning tools, and machine learning and behavioral science can work together so that there's a payback time for the companies. The companies, what they have done, the government, what they have done, they have gathered data of individuals and to more effectively more effectively utilize the target market and actuarial segment, treat us as not as an individual but as a guinea pig. And what they have been able to do is they have been able to recommend to us whatever we want or what they want us to want. They are so necessity is not the mother of invention, but what has happened is the invention has become the mother of necessity. So they are shaping our requirements. They are shaping us to what we want by exploiting our psychological behavior, by exploiting our behavior, by exploiting our cognitive biases. Now we have tools, so it's give back time. So we can have data products through which individuals can better understand their own preferences. We can understand our own preferences. We can understand our risk profiles. We can understand our health needs. We can understand our financial status and so on. And what the machine can tell us that they can tell us and enlighten us through the use of architectural principles and design projects so that we are able to analyze our choices and take informed decisions. So what has behavioral finance done? They can be utilized to help the investors to design more intuitive algorithms, for example, to construct their stock profiles. Now, there are some native studies, some initial studies have come out in which this behavior, when a person wants to invest, for example, then there are learning to rank algorithm. So there are learning to rank algorithm which can produce reliable ranking of the best and the worst performing assets based on investors' sentiment. So you are not now alone. When you take a decisions and you have to decide on a basket of decisions, then the machine learning algorithm, for example, learning to rank algorithms can tell you, which is a deep learning network, can tell you which one is better and why. For example, one of these studies, which is for data-driven decision making, they used sentiment shock and trend indicators. Two things: sentiment shock and trend indicators, and designed stock selection rules. And this they did by ranking by algorithms which are learning to rank algorithms. So they tell you what is the decision, and tell you what is your views as for the 25% top performing stocks, the bottom 25% of the stocks, and allow you to take decisions which are informed decisions. And the results have been very, very promising. And for example, these portfolio strategies have been able to produce risk adjusted returns. So you could adjust your returns, which are found to be superior to the hedge fund industry average, found to be better than S&P 100 index return, and some other algorithms. So what is the time now? You are studying behavioral finance. You are able to map the individual. You know what are the biases. You are able to tell the industry, look here is how you map the individual. Here is map, you can dish out the best products, or else what you can do is you can create necessity through invention. But the time is a give back time, it's payback time for the industry, and the time has come to move behavioral finance from the hands of the industry to empower the individual in making informed decisions. And here is where machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, my friends, data analytics can really help the individual to make informed decisions and put mind above matter. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I think it will be a wonderful 5 days of summer school with some research, brainstorming in the next 2 days in conferences. So I congratulate Professor Ranjit Singh and Dr. Shashikant Rai and the head of the department for thinking of such a wonderful thing. I think 4 years back we had never heard of this behavioral finance, and all of a sudden everybody seems to be zeroing in on behavioral finance. So I think not just the persons from technology, but also from all parts of engineering are moving towards behavioral finances. They have realized that industry, the world is not industry centric, the world is not government centric, the world is individual centric, and ultimately it has to become individual centric, and machine learning and psychology, behavioral finance ultimately is giving power back to the individuals. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your insight. And now we have a better understanding how machine learning approach can be implemented to behavioral finance. Now, I would like to request Professor B. Nagabhushan, sir, to address the gathering and give his valuable words. Welcome, sir.
So, good morning to all of you.
Good morning,
The
sir.
coordinator of this program, Professor Ranjit Singh, Dean of IIIT Allahabad, Professor Shekhar Verma, Head of the Department, Professor Saurabh, and the co-coordinators of the program, Saurabh and Shashikant, and the participants, the behavioral research scientists, technocrats, participants, enthusiastic participants. Good morning to all of you. I'm very happy that there has been no significant change in the behavioral attitude of the organizers, that they still recognized me and they wanted me to be present in this particular event. I'm very, very happy about that. So I'm happy that I'm participating in the inaugural session of this particular program. Now, I guess in the very first time when this event happened, I mentioned that this is an RSS team. RSS standing for Professor Ranjit and Professor Saurabh Mishra and Professor Shashikant Rai, the RSS team. So the RSS team is going strong even today, and this is the 5th school which is happening. The 4 schools they were all very well conducted. In fact, the most important outcome of this experience in the school is that Professor Ranjit has authored a book on behavioral finance, which is one of the interesting points. So I'm also happy that this team has been working so strongly deep, year by year, the breadth of the program and the depth of the program, both of them have been expanding very, very well. So now it is a time for 2 important things. Number one, the IIIT Allahabad, they should take it forward to create a center of excellence in behavioral finance and engineering. So behavioral finance and engineering, there's a very good combination, because as Professor Shekhar Verma in his detailed speech has elaborated on how machine learning, deep learning, computing activities could affect the behavioral finance and behavioral investment. And there is that rich combination which is available in IIIT Allahabad, Therefore, it is necessary, it is high time that Professor Shekhar Verma team and Professor Ranjit Singh and team should join together and come out with the idea of establishing a center for behavioral finance and behavioral finance and engineering. So this is one point. Another point is, now MBA by itself should undergo a change, and MBA should not only include behavioral finance as a regular course of study, should also have a specialization in behavioral finance. I'm sure by next year, Professor Ranjit Singh and team would be addressing these two issues. Now, coming over to, you have heard Professor Shekhar Verma on how the technology, particularly computing technology, could influence the behavioral finance and behavioral investment. So behavioral finance, perhaps more appropriate would be a behavioral strategy in investing, in putting the money or in putting the funds into as an investment. There are most of the topics, most of the situations which have been discussed are very rational problems and very rational thinking about the finance and about the investment. But there are certain irrational activities, and even there is investment. For example, the betting. So the people have got to learn, study this also in greater detail. So today we see online betting, cricket betting, and we also see the betting in the races, and people invest a lot of money. The only outcome that they expect is a quick buck making, quick earning. So that is the whole hope of that. So this also is a different type of behavior. Not all very stable people will get attracted, but surely some weak-minded people would get so attracted, and some of them are possibly they have become regular investors in such betting activities. So this also calls for a deeper research and a deeper analysis why people have this type of behavioral investment pattern, particularly upon betting. The other is a bribe. So bribing also, why people take the bribe is a different issue, that's a different matter. But then why people are ready to pay the bribe? So this is surely under compulsion only. Betting is under option, whereas bribe could be under compulsion. But then what is the behavioral pattern which makes bribe taking and bribe giving probably very compulsive way of living? So one has got to make a big analysis. The third one is naturally, which is a social stigma. The social stigma of taking dowry and giving dowry. So taking dowry and giving dowry. Again, it's people think it could be behavioral investment. It could be a dowry taking could be an investment. Dowry giving probably is also a person who gives his daughter or the lady who gets married thinks that giving dowry is a big investment for the future life. But that also requires a larger analysis. But these are all very irrational activities. They are not very rational activities. Either bribe or betting or even dowry. They have no reasons. They really have a stigma in the society. But these problems also should be taken up by behavioral scientists, behavioral investment in technocrats to analyze and to find out the reasons for this behavioral investment. We know that they are all very incorrect. Of late, just yesterday when I was in some other meeting, somebody told that it is necessary, it is better to invest on the education. Investing on education is a very good behavioral investment, a very good behavioral decision. But look at the choice. People want to invest on the daughter's education in the area of only computer science and engineering. So I asked why it should be only in computer science and engineering. Why should it not be left to the choice and left to the decision of the candidate who would love to continue who would love to take up the education? No, sir. If at all we have got to invest, it has got to be in for the education in computer science and engineering only. Now you know that a lot more branches in computer, a lot more specialization in computer science and engineering are springing up, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, data science, big data science, etc., etc. We should make an investment over here. Then I asked, what is one good reason for this investment? Then he said, see, now once you do computer science and engineering, you need not go to a factory, you need not go to a industry. You can sit at home and you can always work from home, whether it is COVID or not COVID today. Almost all computer science and engineering gadgets are encouraged to sit at home and work. And the parents think that it is the best thing that could happen for their girl students. So this is one way I did not understand whether it is really logical way of thinking or whether it is a irrational way of thinking. But then this behavioral aspect on investing on the education of particularly girl students upon computer science and engineering should also be probably be studied. And in India, the other important point is people do not invest on vehicle insurance. They just hesitate to invest on vehicle insurance. They also hesitate to invest on health insurance. The youngster will always tell, I'm quite young and I'm quite energetic and I'm very healthy. And therefore, why should I go for health insurance? Why should I take it up? So they don't even understand the risk analysis at all. So these patterns, particularly amongst the Indian community, could also be studied. So now, behavioral finance for rational investment is one part of it, which has been studied and which has been discussed in over these 4 schools, and this is the 5th school. We are going to discuss about that. But there are certain irrational patterns, like I have mentioned. Some of the examples I have given, like investing on betting, investing on bribing, investing on dowry, and collecting. These aspects also should be studied. Probably the behavioral analysis on such investments would give a clue on irrational thinking patterns of the human beings in taking such nasty decisions. I am very happy that this time, this version is not only summer school, is also culminating with an international conference on behavioral finance. I am very happy that it is growing from year to year. And I am very proud of this MBA department particularly. It has got 3 young professors, Professor Vijayashri, Professor Madhavendra Mishra, and Professor Ranjit Singh, and very excellent associate professors and assistant professors. They have built up a good team. And now, IIIT Allahabad's management department is also becoming synonym with behavioral finance. I am sure that the department shall grow from heights to heights, and the gravity of behavioral finance will grow in a bigger way because of IIIT's association with behavioral finance. All the best. Have a nice time, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be associated with this inauguration program, and also thank you very much for still remembering. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, sir, for being always very supportive. Thank you. And now for next, we are going to invite Dr. Shashikant sir for vote of thanks. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Kajal. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I will start this vote of thanks. As Sir mentioned, our ex-director, I will not call him our ex-director, but he was more of as a father figure and a guardian. So there is no question of forgetting a fatherly figure and a guardian. So the relation remains the same, whether it's only the geographical distance that we are having, but we are close by the affection and love that you have showered on us. So we are returning what we have got. So I really thank our ex-director sir, P. Nagabhushan sir, for his presence, and he has been always supportive for us since we started in 2018, and he was very much supportive when we started this program, especially to our team, Professor Ranjit Singh, me, and Saurabh. So I thank him for the support. Now coming on to the Professor Nagabhushan part, as you would have comprehended from his speech, that he is not only expert in a computer science, but he is more of an expert in behavior. He has a practical approach and a practical knowledge of the behavior. And finance is one aspect of the behavior, how we act. So especially Professor Ranjit sir has shaped how we should utilize our behavior to take up better financial decisions. So I thank Professor Nagabhushan sir for his presence. And it is the journey just has started, sir, and it is a long journey, and you will be with us always. So thank you, sir. So our Dean, Professor Shekhar Verma sir, since all of us joined in the institute, he has been very supportive, and he has been very instrumental in shaping our behavior, we say that, in the academic field. And because the child behaves what he sees his or her parents. Similarly, we have inculcated all these values, all these cultures, and all these actions which we have learned from our seniors, our professors. So I thank Professor Shekhar Verma sir, as you have collected. He is an expert in wireless sensor network, but in the aspect of behavior, he is also an expert. So he will model his all the modeling what we can do would be understanding how to model the behavior, the various variables he has discussed in brief because of the paucity of the time. But whenever if you get a chance to come in the campus, and if we have the offline mode, you can interact with him. You will get that how expert he is in the behavioral field. Next, I will thank my HOD sir, Shailendra Kumar sir. He has been, you can see, he has been leading us from 1.5 years, and he has been very supportive in providing the logistics, whatever we required in conducting this program. Not only in logistics, because as he is also an expert in finance, we also discuss the modalities of the program, because we need input from the various fields, and we improve from time to time, from the first 2018 to the fifth behavioral finance. We have tried to improve with the going years. So I thank HOD sir, Shailendra Kumar sir. Now coming on to our chief program coordinator, Professor Ranjit Singh. He has been the captain of the ship. So he has not only guided us, but he also has decided the destination that where we will take this program. So he's the captain of our ship, and as you can see from the success of this program, the ship is sailing very fine. And we have also troubled waters in between. We have the COVID coming. So the challenges, when we face challenges, when we have challenges, there are also opportunities. So we overcome those challenges. We came in the online mode, and what we have done, what we got in the online mode. Initially, as you know, because of the geographical restrictions, people usually come from across India. But now we have participants across the globe. So people are experiencing how not only how we are IIIT is moving or is experiencing behavioral finance, but how India is shaping the knowledge of behavioral finance. So Professor Ranjit Singh is one of the, you can say, the best of he's the pioneers in this field in this country, or when we say across the globe. So he has started shaping this program. He has planned, and the planning starts. I cannot, you can say, limit it in the words. I cannot praise him in words. It starts right from when this program ends. If you have seen, you have received the books. See, it starts when this program will end. He will start planning for the next behavioral finance, what to include and all. This is the hard work what he puts in, and he makes us to work hard. So I thank Ranjit sir, Professor Ranjit sir, for his hard work and his support that what we have given. So I thank Kajol all the research scholar of the department, Dr. Saurabh Mishra, one of the coordinators, all the faculty members present here, the supporting staff, and the conference, or you can say any of the knowledge sharing platform is incomplete without the participants. So I thank all the participants from across the India, across the globe who has joined us. So I thank everyone for this very informative and knowledgeable 7 days learning activity. So I thank everyone. So thank you, sir. Over to you, Kajal.
Thank you, sir. So here we are in the end of the inaugural session of Summer School of Behavioral Finance 2022. Now, I request you all to please stand up for the national anthem.
Please open your cameras if possible.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
So thank you. Now with this we came to the end of our inaugural session, and at 11:15 we'll start our first technical session with Professor Madhumita Chakravarti ma'am from Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. So we can have a quick break of 10 minutes, and then we shall be joining once again at 11:15. Thank you.